Hey everybody, this is the Jink from Source U. Thanks for watching. If you want to keep up with all things Source U, check out our Twitter page and our Facebook page. If you have any ideas or suggestions for any future videos we should do, please send us an email. Please go to our channel, look for that Source U insignia, and subscribe to our videos. Thank you, enjoy the video.
You want to do this one? I mean, it's been a while.
Of course I'm going to do it.
Okay.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lighttalk, online talk show where, we people sit around table, talk about random stuff.
And you fell apart already.
I did not fall apart. What are you talking about? I got this, sir. It's been a while. Leave me alone. It's been so
Go.
long.
What says you?
It seems like it's going to be an interesting show. A very racially charged show. Not the typical black and white thing, but it's
it's one of those.
You know what? I got a question. This is considering the scenario here. Why isn't he in the center?
No.
But he's the teacher for the day.
I was
He was late, so he get to sit on the side.
It's kind of mean. But he's the teacher.
I'm not late.
Don't you know
According
that
to
one kid in
CPT
school?
time.
No, that one.
If you know what CPT time is.
Shut up.
That is a very good point. If that's the case, he's 15 minutes early.
Yeah, exactly. See,
Don't you know that one
glass
kid?
half full, right?
That one kid that was always late in class that didn't want to sit up front, but there was always that one seat that's open because he didn't get there in time to get in the back.
Because who wants to sit up front when they're
Yeah.
No, that was me. And you know what I used to do? Still not sit in the front. I used to go and stand. Stand in the back.
draw even more attention to yourself?
And then when the teacher wasn't paying attention, I sit on the radiator. That's how you do it.
I'm Jason, of course. We got Serge.
Don't nobody remember
Go.
you.
I'm back, man.
You
See,
ain't
I'm not
gotta
going to
be.
introduce this person. We got a special guest. Introduce yourself to the people out there.
Me? Who, me?
You.
Little
Introduce yourself.
Well, I am thePLAINESTjane from YouTube with over 1 million views, and I am also from In the Know Radio. That's me. Yes, that's me. That's who I am.
True life
Very
celebrity.
nice. Yeah,
Celebrity moment.
you're internet famous,
Don't
but hey,
Listen, that's better than us. With what? Only like 78 to 80 subscribers.
Hey man, we're making it our way up, man.
Hey, view
I know,
count sometimes can be a little more important than subscribing because you have no clue how illiterate people are when it comes to the internet.
Yeah.
Some people legitimately will search for your name. They don't want to sign into YouTube. They don't want an account. They don't want email. They just want to
Exactly.
search for you every week. So it doesn't mean that you don't have like a loyal following of people who are interested in your stuff just because you don't have a lot of subscribers. Like I have like 11.6 thousand subscribers. That's nothing compared to my 1.3 million views. So it's just like people search for me.
Yeah. And if you make a lot of videos, 11,000 subscribers accumulates to like 11,000. Plus the extras who aren't subscribed to you, so it's a lot of.
Plus the people that jumped off. I mean, I started YouTube in 2010, I want to say. YouTube was so different. Like the ethic, YouTube was a very trustworthy place at that time.
Yeah.
But now it's so much not. You can't trust anything. There's sponsored videos and sponsored ads. You can't trust if the person works for this company, if they got paid, if they're just boosting it up for the sake of making a certain amount of money. So, for the people who subscribed to me back in 2010, some of them aren't even watching me right now. It's just like dead weight sitting on my subscriber count to make my view ratio look kind of.
Plus you got the brain fart.
Brain's got gas.
It's because he's starstruck, just like we're trying not to be starstruck. But it's so. I ain't never been this close to a celebrity before.
I'm not even a celebrity yet. Wait on it. This
I
will
mean,
be one of
you
them
got a radio show,
archive things. You be seeing them Tupac blurry videos from back in the day.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna be somebody and it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, it's a little blurry video from back in the day.
Talking about our videos are quite clear.
Right now.
This man tell you all about video quality.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's all he
Please,
ever
don't
talks
get him-
about.
Don't get him started. Please don't do this because we got a whole show to do.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the chase.
We're gonna get to the
So the subject today
Subject matter.
is basically black and Asian relations. How do black people think about Asians and what Asians think about black people?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's all cookies and cream like everybody thinks it is.
So cut dry, pretty much.
Cut fine print.
Yeah. Unless you live in Ohio, black and Asian.
So I've been to Ohio. I've actually been to Toledo.
Yeah. They're pretty
super cool.
There's a lot of black and Asian relationships over there.
Yeah. But it's funny because Toledo's one of those small townships that's not what the true Ohio is, apparently. Because everybody who I know is from Ohio are from different parts of Ohio. So people who are from like small parts like Toledo and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, everybody's really simple, chills, and cool. I don't understand why everybody's so hostile around here. And then you go to people who've been from like Columbus or Cincinnati, and they're like, what do you mean? It's super hostile. Like everybody's this, and this. It's like, oh, I didn't know.
And I remember the Baltimore riots and the
Which one?
the most recent one.
Okay. The one that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it didn't. But basically, in Asian news, right? You know, they don't know the context of anything. They're showing it, and then you see people rioting. It's none of black people, and then Asian people are watching this, and it's just making us look bad, in their country. And another thing,
you got to think though, the way our media is, it always makes us look bad in our country. So,
but in this country, you can actually meet and talk to black people. It's like over there, there's no, frame of reference outside of what you see in the media.
Got a point.
Yeah. So.
Okay, y'all done now?
Cool. Any thoughts on?
Okay, I was gonna say we got a special guest here. He's gonna.
I'm sorry.
You got any thoughts on anything?
I mean, I would like to hear more what y'all think because I don't really know a lot about Asian culture. You know what I mean, as it pertains to my culture. I don't really know too much about it. I do see the disconnect between the two cultures, and I mean between like going into like Asian owned businesses or establishments. Just like kind of any other foreign establishment, it's just this kind of sense of Americans, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But you're here.
Yeah.
So it's, I can sense that. And I can see the reason why there could be friction between the two cultures. But as far as like having a deep inside understanding, I don't. And I'm waiting to hear more of, kind of what y'all think.
There isn't any historical deep dislike or anything. It's everything I notice is very recent and it's basically misunderstood public relations.
Mostly the media is showing, black people are bad. Asians see that, and when a black person come into one of their little convenience stores, they like just watching. And somebody else that comes in and actually stealing something, they have no idea until they look back at the camera. Right? Like,
I had this really weird experience. 2 days ago, I locked my keys out my car while I was on break at Subway, 8 seconds from work, while the car was running. And so I called AAA, blah, blah, blah. I'm waiting for AAA. And I don't know if any other females had like locked their keys in the car. You have like a little mini nervous breakdown. Wow. Because it's just like, what if they don't get them out? What if, it's running? What if they can't get the window down? What's going on? I don't have a spare set. How are they going to rekey the car? I'm going to run out of gas. It's just going to be a mess. So anyway, I'm having a nervous breakdown. I'm walking back and forth. Mind you, I was hungry, but I'm like, I might as well go on Subway while this is happening. Nah, my keys in the car. I done lost my appetite. I'm walking back and forth, and there's this, I don't know. I'm not sure the different, whatever, but he was either Chinese or Japanese or something. I'm not sure. Korean, maybe. I don't know.
Filipinos.
But he was just staring. I mean, like, first of all, I got dried up tears on my face. It's windy. It's cold. I'm waiting for AAA, and you're just staring at me. Like, he was just sitting there. I put it on Instagram and everything, like, on Instagram stories. I should have saved the whole story. And so he's just staring at me. So finally, I'm just, like, staring back like it's nothing. I'm used to being stared at, but at this point, I'm kind of, like, already on edge. Like, come on now. I'm waiting for AAA. So, okay, fine. Let's have a staring contest. Let's do this. And then he sits up. He's like, wow, she's staring back at me. And I'm like, wow. Well, buddy, I mean, we just staring at each other at this point. So, I pull out my Instagram. And then finally I spoke. And I'm just like, hello. He's like, hello. And I'm like, we here. I guess we just here. Because, I mean, you're not going to stop looking at me. And I'm like, let me get on Instagram Live. And I'm kind of like recording him a little bit. And he like is really sitting up. I'm like, y'all, he right here. He's staring at me like I'm getting ready to steal this pole right here. Like there is nothing out here for me to steal. And I just kept, I'm like, he is really in my grill. Like, then he started standing up like I was threatening. Then he had his hood on and he just kept, and I'm like, he is really getting bucked because I'm giving him the same energy he gave me. Like, buddy, I done lost my appetite. My keys and got locked out my car. You just sitting out here staring somebody up and down, bro. I'm already on edge. You know what I mean? You lock your keys in your car, you shaking as a woman, and then you staring at me, and I'm like, come on, bro. Let me give you this energy. And I'm like, why y'all so bothered when somebody gives you that same level of discomfort? You know what I mean? That sense of like intimidation. That could be with a big person compared to a small person, a black person, a white person. the difference in cultures. It could be anything, but you know what gives you the right to, number one, be over here and this isn't your territory in the first place. But what gives you the right to give that energy off for any type of foreigner? You know what I mean, or anyone, and to not be able to accept it back. Even me as a black, you know, person who might intimidate somebody. I don't understand it. Do y'all understand why they come here and do that?
So
when I take this one,
I'm gonna let the professor actually lead on this one, because after all, in these particular scenarios, these are actually built for him to actually teach the class.
Well,
teach the class.
I never experienced anything horrible from Asians. It's from I observed from watching people and interactions on television and the internet. But I noticed this trend where Asian people will open a business, like a convenience store, and they're opening it in like the worst black neighborhoods, and they use that neighborhood to reflect black people as a whole. And they usually have family members, and they write email, instant message,
Right letters.
social. Yes, well, I don't think that we do that anymore. But social media.
No. Some people are just still too poor, man. Some people are still too poor.
Well, but like they get the worst of us, and then they tell their their friends and family, oh, look at this, and then they get this wrong perception of black people as a whole. And I think that there's a lot of misrepresentation in that, because that's true. They do open their businesses in the worst black neighborhoods.
Would you call that racism or culturism? What would you call that?
I wouldn't call it racism. I think it's more of a
creedism.
Yeah, something. It's just, I think because in these areas it's low, the rent is low, so it's more economic. So it's not like they're purposely looking for bad neighborhoods. It's just, I don't think they're looking for bad.
I feel like it might not be that they're looking for bad neighborhoods, but they're looking for the cheapest place to
exactly
run
economic.
But you know what that comes with. Exactly. I can look for the cheapest apartment right now. I know it's gonna come with roaches, rats, and it's gonna come with that. And I gotta expect robberies, and I have a double door and a double or whatever the case is. So it's like you're setting yourself up to deal with this demographic, but then you already have this flawed view. But then I'm in Colombia. This is Colombia. This is a place where you can almost leave. Now I just work out there, but you can leave your doors open. This is Colombia.
Yeah,
I wasn't even in the store. So for me to get a hurry up and buy type of a vibe, and I'm not even in it. I'm just like literally, they've got benches out here, outside tables for you to eat your food if you get Subway. I'm literally just out here at the benches and the tables, just sitting, wasting time, antsy, waiting for. And I'm getting this hurry up and buy thing, and I'm not even. So it's like, what is that?
Yeah, no, it's rude. Yeah.
You know, so their American dream is to come here and either open a chicken box joint or a liquor store.
Yeah, exactly. Liquor stores. They love liquor stores. Oh, another thing is this is strange, but Koreans own the black hair industry. They
beauty
completely.
And virgin.
But yeah, they got like what 80% share of that.
And they talk trash about us all the time.
You know they talking about
they do.
Especially nail salons and everything.
Yes.
You know they talking about
Yes,
you.
they do.
Ting tong ting. I probably messed up that. Don't whatever. Ting tong ting ting ting.
I
They
got
probably
to do
say
one of them one time
they probably
too.
saying your nails look so fucked up. Is that Gollum coming out your pinky toe right now? That's probably what they're saying right there.
Oh,
in front of you.
in Korea they have this band
But they do
of like
good work,
4
though.
girls. This is not mainstream, but in Korea, it's basically they act like stereotypical black women, and it's completely racist. It's like I forgot their name.
Is it a cartoon or no?
No, it's not cartoon. It's actual
it's an actual
4
band.
girls. Yeah, it's 4 girls.
It's like a pop group.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It's not mainstream. It's not mainstream. No, it's not mainstream K-pop.
No.
It's more of like parody, but like
It's terrible.
yeah. I forgot the name. I have to look them up, but
No, it's like
because we started
sketch
telling me about
comedy.
that before.
yeah.
I mean, well, if you speak more like relations anyway, even when, say, black guy gets with an Asian girl, parents automatically was going to assume, oh, so you went out to get this thug to make us angry.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna look at.
But he has a Harvard Law degree.
That's what I'm saying. Like you don't know what he got. This man could be the smartest man in the world, but yet you look at the outside appearance first before you look at
Exactly.
the
It's not
mindset.
even an outside appearance, because even the outside appearance of how a person dresses, carries themselves tells you
They don't care. They
much
see-
about a
they
person.
see black.
Exactly. It's not the
So that's
appearance,
what
the
I'm saying.
outside appearance. It's literally the color of the skin.
Well, that's what I mean about
That happened to Jake.
happened to Jane.
Yep.
Yeah, he was dating an Asian girl, and the parents just completely was just like shut off to him.
See?
Yep.
And that boy is half white, so I'm just trying to figure out.
Yeah, who else has said some? I mean, I dated a Spanish guy one time. He was actually Salvadorian. And even though people of Spanish descent are a bit of color, they did not like black people. They,
I know about that.
Not like me at all. I mean, the evil glares and everything else.
Black people in South America don't have it very, very good.
You know what the weird part is? Yeah. I'm finding it kind of does depend where they come from. Because I used to hang with, back in high school, this girl I used to hang with. She was part Cuban. Her parents, straight from Cuba. They're super cool, black people. Yeah. They don't even care. But it seems like it kind of changes depending on where exactly from Latin America they're from. So in that particular respect, it's like, it varies. But with majority Asian, it doesn't matter where they're from. They just don't like us.
Yeah, and you have to remember that black people in South America and Cuba were former slaves of the Spanish Empire, and the Portuguese was Brazilian. So
in that regard, we all have something in common.
Dominican Republic, black people there are basically slaves of the Spanish Empire too. So, it's not just the Anglos, it's the white people in general.
I'm sorry, y'all. Why did you have to say that as soon as I took a sip?
What? That wasn't
hate
racist.
You so much.
That wasn't racist. I mean, we all love fried chicken. I'm just saying.
How you know I don't like baked chicken though?
Oh, we all love baked chicken too.
Oh, well, how you know I just don't like chicken or Kool-Aid?
Okay, so now
we're not judging. See, now you're being judgy because he likes something stereotypically black. He likes it because he likes it, Jason.
What's your favorite color? I ain't say flavor, I said color. Yeah, I said it.
Red.
I don't know, I kind of like the purple.
Everybody likes purple. That's default. You can't pick that.
That's a sad thing. Bet you can't take that around an Asian person. He'd be like, you definitely black.
You know what though? There was this one Asian guy I used to hang around named Mike. He was black and mild.
See, you get some good ones.
Wait, can I say this? Blasian kids are like unicorns. When you find them, like you cherish them.
Well, he wasn't. Well, that's just it. He wasn't.
That is the actual word.
But I did actually go to school with a Blasian chick.
I know. I don't know. I don't know too realistically.
This was a long time ago, and I forgot where I seen it. I think it was on the documentary of a model. She's black, or half black, half Asian, pretty much Blasian.
Japan, right?
Yeah. Seen that one?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Like you can't say Asian or black. She was just great, beautiful.
Did she win Miss Japan?
Yeah, she did.
And then they get the Japanese people were angry.
Yeah, everybody was angry because she was black and Asian.
You know what? Because in Japan, what's the term in Japan? Oh yes, she's a filthy gaijin.
Yeah. Well, there's some other word they use specifically for like, because I think her father was in the Navy. There's like a Navy base in Japan. I forget they had a special name for it from Malaysian, but it wasn't good.
It's not
they
good.
Treat her. I mean, they weren't.
They treated her badly.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't get hit or stuff thrown at her, but she got a lot of.
So incoming message from the jank. He says he'll be here within 20.
Oh, he can make it tonight? That's nice.
Yeah. So then we can force him to do all the editing as soon as he gets here.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yay! This is going up early, guys. Wow! I'm sorry. Was that too much? Too much?
Do y'all find issues with mixed breeds of any sort?
No.
Me personally, no. I don't find a problem with them, but some of them, depending on how they grow up, may have a problem with you. And that goes back to that Blasian girl that I went to high school. She walked around with a huge attitude.
Why?
No clue. She wouldn't really make friends with anybody. She wouldn't speak to nobody.
Yeah,
I even tried to be nice to her. She just literally gave me all the attitude in the world. I was like, all right, I don't not talk to this chick.
Yeah, they think they're too better because they got two different races, and something ain't
I
right.
never had them.
I'm not really sure that it's. I don't really know if it's that. I just think that in her particular scenario, depending on who her parents are,
True that too.
She might have just been one of those scenarios, or she could have even been one of those really bad scenarios where she came up in the system.
Do you feel like
kids
mixed
come up in the
breeds?
system like that?
Do you feel like mixed breeds get different treatment?
Yes. With family members, I can tell you for a fact that
definitely,
yes,
definitely.
and I do have some mixed breeds in my family. So
mixed breeds.
Yeah.
He got mixed breeds.
We're talking about dogs
listen,
or something.
Some people call them bitter bobs, right?
Bobs, mixed breeds, halfers.
I had a completely different situation than most people had, and I'm mixed, and my mom was highly racist and couldn't stand it and tried to get me to go into like a KKK cellar and
Wow.
she shaved my head and
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Stuff you
So
learn.
like I've had a completely different situation than like the other
Wow.
half.
It just, like I said, it kind of just depends on who the parents are at the end of the day, in my opinion, when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Like, in my family, we don't care. Your family, at the end of the day, we're going to treat you like such. So if you act up and I slap you up, it's not because you're
Racial reasons.
You literally had one job to do that was listen to what I said, and then you didn't listen to what I said, so I slapped you up.
I mean, if you
And
I'm
no,
No, keep
listen,
going, bro.
I'll say if you look at your DNA, technically, you got more in you than what you think you do.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, that in my
Definitely you.
Yeah, but I'm pretty much almost from every place in freaking Africa.
Yeah.
You're pretty much, I'm pretty much 50-50 there. And then come to America, I'm like 1% Native American.
My mom's ultra light skin. I got my dad's skin shade. Yeah.
Oh, and negative 1% Asian, which I'm still trying to figure out what does the negative 1% means.
Like Uncle Ruckus, he's like, I'm 99% African.
Ruckus
With a 1%.
One of my favorite
With a
racist characters of all time.
With 1% more margin of error than him.
Was that him that was poking holes in the condoms?
No.
Oh, that was the other guy.
Boondocks he's a
Ruckus.
black guy.
He's a
hates
black
himself.
guy who hates black people.
So he's the
not
most
realizing that
racist
he's black,
against
thinking
black
that he's
people.
white because he apparently was told as a kid
Yeah,
that he had
revitiligo.
revitiligo. The opposite of what Michael Jackson got. That's literally the explanation. Most hilarious racist character to ever pop up in the
Watch
show.
out
Best
for the
way.
niggas over there.
That's the only time I let him get away with that one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say anything. It's literally the song from the show.
So that's why I get away with that one.
Oh,
I mean,
he's-
characters like that exist, like Samuel Jackson and Django.
Oh my heart became completely gone when he just said, "Who that dead nigga on that dead night?" And I was like, "What? That's Sam? That is Sam."
He was that
It is you.
He was that super house Negro where he
Yeah,
was
he
treated
was.
really well, so he loves white people even though they repress him.
and treats everybody else like
Yeah,
garbage.
exactly.
Hilarious. Is it bad when I first saw it, I looked down, I was like, thanks, Samuel Jackson. And then I went back again, I looked again, I said, wait, yo, they made him look so different. like
You look the same. He always
Yeah.
looked pretty.
He always looked the.
when I seen it, probably because it was a bootleg copy I got off this dude in the back of the truck. But we don't talk about those times, you know.
I told you to stop getting stuff from Sterling, yo.
But he said it was a good copy.
You guys still use bootleggers?
Dang.
Sometimes, you know, you go on the internet, they be tracking that stuff, so, you know. I also get it from the guy that already got it, so if he goes to jail, guess what? Hey,
Kids just stick to stream sites. Anyway,
hey, I ain't
It
got
still leaves a trail.
not that bad.
Use a VPN, kids.
Really. But,
Well, I mean, LimeWire definitely.
Oh my God.
For $1 million.
What is this? 1998?
Listen, they made an example out of that lady, and they got her for pirating for like $1 million or so, and that's when everybody was like, "Whoa, LimeWire, Frostwire, BearShare, Spinrilla,
WinMX.
memories.
anything but
Oh my
that."
God, WinMX.
Memories.
I still use that after those cases. But then BitTurn happened.
Especially you sneaking on your mother's laptop. Could you imagine that $1 million lawsuit coming back to your mom's laptop and her being like, "Come downstairs," and it's like,
Oh yeah, everybody got scared once I said that. It was like, yeah, delete.
Thank goodness during that time I had my own computer.
Plus, it's not stealing; it's unauthorized use.
Exactly. And it kept breaking down.
yeah, well, guess what? Explain that to your mother. She'll want to hear that when the police at the door. And when the lawsuits come in, she was like, "Unauthorized stealing, whatever. Turn around, get out of my house, take him to jail. I ain't got nothing to do with me."
I don't care if he's a minor.
Yeah, that was the worst thing the parents could say. You go to jail, I ain't bailing you out.
Oh, my mother said much worse than that. She said she ain't gonna visit me.
Oh.
Well, see, I don't want my mother to visit. She gonna make me feel
No,
worse.
right.
No, my mom is just that petty because you could literally be like, "But Mom, it's my birthday. I want you to at least come see me, see how much I grew up." Nah, I ain't even gonna come look at you, nigga.
No.
You don't exist right now.
No.
My mother better said some petty stuff. It's your birthday and you sitting right in here. You feel good, don't you? You
Like,
should
my mom
feel,
wouldn't
you
even-
should feel real good about yourself. Happy birthday.
My mom's the type of petty. No, my mom's the type of petty. She won't even
actually
answer
does
the
this.
call.
I'm sorry, Mom. She didn't mean to embarrass you.
No, my My mom won't even answer the call though. You could call and just be like, "Ma, I need to talk to this person." When you call it the wrong house, click.
I don't want my mother to answer the phone. She better.
Oh man, sad part. She won't even take the call. You do like this to get a little phone call. Like, you got a call from. Hey, mom, in jail. Come on, click.
Exactly.
Like, nope, sorry.
Like, as soon as she even hear, you got a call from, she's already hung up. She don't even want to know who it is.
That old collect number. You got a call.
I would say my mother did tell me not to ever bring a chink home. She did tell me that.
Right. Wow.
I think she just, I mean, after going into so many stores, seeing the nasty looks, dealing with that, who wants to deal with that cultural difference? Who wants to deal with that child actually being bonded to a whole nother person in so many different spiritual, marriage, financial, whatever. Y'all become, you know, one, and then you got to either do wedding arrangements together. Who's paying for, who's doing this? And then, the you know, Thanksgiving. Just, who wants to deal with that cultural, if you know by default you're going into dislike? Who wants to do that? So, I mean, I could understand that. I mean, she was, ultimately, I'm going to do what I want to do. I've always done it.
Yeah.
But I've never wanted to go into that cultural difference either. I don't want you to be like, what's your hair feeling? Oh, Cheeto. Oh, what y'all? I don't feel like dealing with that. You got straight stuff. I got nappy stuff. Is you gonna get over it or
Yeah,
no?
no.
Like, I'm not dealing with this.
Scratch myself.
Right, I'm not dealing with this.
I mean, I'm not sure how to respond to that one.
Oh my god.
Other than just,
Yes.
I can grow a fro. Can you?
I ain't dealing with none of that. Either you want to
My
love
hair
my
protects me
naps
from
or
the
you
sun.
not. I don't got time.
All
And,
naps need love.
And another thing's going on is like, remember the British Empire and Europe were basically raping Africa, their like resources.
No.
It's
no.
That's going away for now, the European thing, but the Chinese see, you know, an opportunity, and a lot of China is like, you know, paying off governments and they're mining African lands. If you ever see a documentary called Empire of Dust, basically this Chinese company, you know, I don't know what they were mining, but they were trying to get the railroads and transportation together to, you know, extract the resources, and the Chinese people kept complaining how incompetent the country was, and they couldn't, getting licensed was like a pain, and the government won't cooperate, and everything was very corrupt. And then the main two characters was the manager and the translator. Translator was an African dude who knew like Mandarin Chinese and his native language. And like at the end of towards the end of the movie, the Chinese guys was like scolding him. It was the most uncomfortable thing I watched. And he was basically saying, and he was just telling like, "Oh, you guys can't do anything. The British left all this stuff and you messed it up." And I was like, "Whoa, that was a very uncomfortable movie." It was called Empire of Dust. But yeah, that's the thing now. The Chinese are you know, seeing the opportunity. And, you know, I mean, it's not like they're coming in and stealing it by force. They're paying off the corrupt governments, and they're like, all right, you can use our land, and then some dictator doesn't care. So, yeah.
So let me ask you a question, Professor.
That.
I did have to say it like that. Don't you tell me what I got to do and don't got to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I asked the question, you ignorant fool.
So tying that into our whole subject matter today,
Yeah.
you see that as being underlying them maybe seeing us as being maybe, I don't know, less of a people? Kind of like how way back when slavery time was happening, how others saw us.
I think it turned into that. At first, I think it's just economic. I think, like I said, it starts something else, then it turns into something else. Yeah, I don't think it's...
So it starts as one thing, and then slowly just snowfalls into this whole other thing.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Hey, let us take their resources." You know, Africa is like very rich in like natural resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really say nothing else about that. It really is.
Yeah.
It's original life.
Circle of life, you know.
Did you just? Now I'm gonna have to get the Lion King music. Thanks.
Just wanna.
That's my job. Okay.
Can I, please?
Let's make a Lion King 2017. Basically.
Beyonce is gonna be the voice of Nala.
Need my razor blade now?
No. It's a rendition. It's gonna have modern day
if I have to,
Analogy.
They gonna have iPhones in it, you know, just like that Tupac movie.
Okay, if I'm being real
Scar
honest
works
here,
for the white man.
if I'm being
He
real,
killed his brother for money.
Seriously. Like, if I'm being real honest here, I'm one of the few people in the world who you will ever hear say this. Beyonce is my least favorite person in the world. I don't understand her fame. She was in a group with like 4 different people who were more talented than her.
So wait, do you
And cuter than
understand
her.
Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton's fame?
Oh yeah, they don't make no sense
do
either.
you
No.
really think Beyonce is pointless? Like she can't even. I mean, Paris Hilton literally just has the last name Hilton.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
we don't even talk about that.
I mean,
That
so that's
one
what I'm saying. So
doesn't even
Beyonce,
just-
come on, don't make it seem like she's just like a person walking down
Listen.
the street and people love her for no reason in the world. She
Listen.
can at least sing. She can at least perform, and she can at least keep
So-
people out of her business.
Oh, okay. I'll give you that last one, definitely. Okay, she does put on a decent performance. She's very showy, I'll say that. But singing, that's a little subjective.
Oh, she's not bad.
I mean, what isn't subjective? But I mean, it's 2017. You tell me how many
But-
artists can really sing in 2017.
Not
coming out
much.
with-
0!
And
Absolutely none of
Okay,
them!
so tell me this: how many artists are really studying their craft from birth till now? There's so many people that think that, oh, I started singing in 2015. Let me come out with a record. Beyonce has literally been seasoned to be a singer, a performer since birth. She's been training with her voice since birth. So I mean, between the range, you might not like it, but again, singing is very subjective. But she has the fan base and she has the range. It might not be your cup of tea, but she's been in theater, she's been in music from birth. You can't say she hasn't studied and perfected that skill and that talent.
Plus, the best singers aren't famous though. They're not. The best singers aren't.
Just like Andre 3000 and Erykah Badu. I mean, they're
That
different
song,
in their
Hello.
right. Some people like them, some people don't, but they have studied that
Yep.
stuff. Like, they really have been deep into their art for a long
Have you
time.
heard that song?
Now, you know
Hello?
what the sad part is?
By who?
Andre 2000, Erykah Badu, really good song.
About their relationship there.
Not,
What is
what
that
they
on?
Yeah.
I don't know what album. I think it's one of Erykah Badu's singles or it's one of her
Yeah.
albums.
I
It's
think
a
it's
really
a
good
single.
song. I
I
like
have
it.
to listen to that.
Really good track. You can listen in your car. You have Spotify?